Is the helmet muffling my voice? What is up, everybody? You're watching another episode of Mirandalorian Outpost. I'm your host, as always, Ryan Mirandalorian. And today we're going to be making a Death Trooper helmet. Now, like all Star Wars fans, Rogue One holds a special place in my heart. Rogue One has to be one of the coolest and best projects that Disney has put out since they acquired the rights to Lucasfilm. It is just such an amazing story, so gritty, so action-packed, and adds so much new content and lore to the Star Wars universe. As a prop maker and fan, I am a sucker for evolution of helmets or new character helmets, and Rogue One definitely delivered. We got 3 trooper variants, if I'm correct. There's the Shore Trooper, the Tank Trooper, and the Death Trooper. If I'm forgetting one, leave it in the comments. And I already have the Shore Trooper. That one's probably my favorite helmet that came out of that movie. The Tank Trooper is next on my list, but for this video, we're making the Death Trooper. All right, so first thing to do on this 3D print, I have already started the sanding process. I got this off of someone, I don't even know where, maybe Facebook or I don't know. I found it online. Someone was getting rid of it for super cheap. I think it was only 35 bucks for a raw printed helmet. And the reason was it was so cheap was because the back of the helmet had so much rough supports. They printed it like this, which they most likely were new to 3D printing because any kind of helmet or dome that you print should be printing with 0 center supports. It will print totally fine. You'll get a little bit of stringing on the inside, but it'll be totally fine to have no center support. So never print like this or you're going to be ruining the texture and the overall finish of your file. So I gunked this up with Bondo, and now it's time to sand it and get this guy smooth. And when we're going to sand, we're always going to be wearing our respirator to protect our lungs. Here, I'm sanding the helmet starting out at 80 grit and then again at 220 grit. And here's a look at what I was saying. Look how rough this helmet was before the Bondo. You could see it was really choppy and messy, but that Bondo definitely filled in those gaps. As for the smoothing process for the rest of the helmet, I use UV resin and I brush it on in thin layers, making sure to cover the entire helmet evenly, and I apply about 3 layers of UV resin. Then to cure your UV resin, you're going to use a UV light. Once cured, go ahead and use a paper towel with isopropyl alcohol to wipe down your print because it will be tacky and gunk up your sandpaper. And as you can see, that UV resin did a great job at filling in those lines. Then you're going to start sanding again. As you can see, I'm really happy about it, but it's all worth it. When you wash it off, you can see just how smooth we're actually getting on this print, which is everything that we want. Then spray some filler primer. All right, so let's talk lights. I'm not a big electronics person. When it comes to making the helmets, I can 3D print them, smooth them, do all that finishing work, the painting. I just haven't added electronics into my wheelhouse of skills. So what I tend to do is just look for simple LEDs that are already ready to go on a switch. And the Death Trooper is not a complicated helmet. It only has green LEDs on the chin. So I went and got these finger lights from the dollar store. You can get them on Amazon also. Already on a switch and just need to be installed. And normally I put like a green tinted piece of plastic in front of the lights, but I don't have any. But I do have these green like fish aquarium rocks. So I'm gonna use those. Scratch that, I actually found extra visor material, so I'll have plenty of plastic for both the cheek lights and for the visor. This is a green welding mask that you can get on Amazon for like $8. So very happy where we're at this stage, but we are never done at this stage. Of course, this is just the start. We now need to do Bondo spot putty and get into areas that look like need a little more attention, like there's some ripples going on here. These are all really minor though. These are really easy fixes and can all be solved with the Bondo spot putty. For the most part, it's really clean and I'm happy with that. So we're going to put on some spot putty, do another pass of sanding, and then probably filler primer again, and it's ready to go. All right, I just finished wet sanding this. I just stand out here by my faucet and take 320 and 600 grit sandpaper and get it so it is nice and smooth. I'm gonna let this dry
and then we could finally paint it.
For the paint, I'm just using a gloss Rust-Oleum black. And for the detail pieces on the front, I resin printed these, and then I'm going to use a dry brush and get all that paint off the brush and just make light passes back and forth, making sure to pick up all that detail. And I applied this to both of the grill pieces as well as some of the pieces on the front of the helmet that are not gloss black. And here it is finished. Time to glue both of them in place, and it's done. And there it is. There's the finished product. I am so happy with how this came out. Like I said, the back of the helmet was pretty rough, and there was a lot of Bondo and sanding work that needed to be done in order for this thing to look good and presentable. And I couldn't be happier, honestly. The lights turned out really well also. They're not super bright, but I also don't want them to be. They're just enough to have that detail in there. This thing, even though I didn't print this, it fits me like a glove. I mean, come on, how awesome is this helmet? This thing is beautiful. I'm just speechless. I love it. That's it, and as always, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you follow along with this YouTube channel, I will be doing tons of projects like this. I do this full-time for my job. The link to my Etsy store is in the description of this video. And I'm always taking custom commissions, whether it's Star Wars, DC, Marvel, or whatever. Like I said, the Tank Trooper is going to be in the future, hopefully sometime soon. But anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.